Okay. Something
I
that
think the thing
confuses me.
that I'm most
Something that
confused
confuses
about.
me. Okay.
I
Something
think the
that
thing
confuses me.
that I'm
Okay,
most
so
Something
I
that
guess
confuses
something that
me.
confuses.
So the thing that I don't
Okay,
understand.
so
that
I guess
confuses
something
me.
that confuses me a little bit.
What really confuses me
That confuses me.
what really confuses me is
So the thing that I don't understand.
One thing that has always confused me, no matter what, no matter how many times people explain it, no matter however many times I'm supposed to be using it, is the difference between affect and effect.
I am confused about money. Everything to do with money. How to get it, first off. I'm not very good at getting it. And when I do manage to get it, I don't know how to save it. I am confused about
U.S. healthcare is just atrocious.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I should be able to understand these concepts. I am 22 years old.
It would fix it. It would be better, and like that problem might be solved.
I don't understand how everybody can't be able to go to the hospital when they're sick.
I need to learn how to do this sometime to survive. I don't want to be calling my parents every tax season.
It's people that don't have any kind of social etiquette. When somebody's getting on a train or getting off a train, one person goes at a time. You let that person go, and then the other people come on. It's just how it is. It doesn't have to be written anywhere. You just do it.
In their Bible or their Quran or whatever their holy book might be.
I have no idea how to use them.
You know, and I just feel like a freaking
I
idiot.
have no idea how to use them.
You know, and I just feel like a freaking
I
idiot.
have no idea how to use them.
Particularly speaking about Christianity, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Any religion.
I'm really confused by my attitude about it.
Why then spend your time judging other people and persecuting them and making them feel bad about their choices and their beliefs and what they choose to believe?
you judge me.
And the one thing that is really, really important to it, which is it's people they can't take care of. I'm just confused
You don't
by that.
You have to sing everywhere, even if you can. Columbia College, I'm talking to you. I know you got a great soul voice. It sounds really good. But I don't need to hear it in the elevator, and while I'm getting lunch, and anywhere else.
I always have thought that I wanted certain things. And it's weird thinking that I don't want them as much as I thought I did.
And so, like, I don't understand. I still don't understand. I don't think anybody does.
I don't know, they just...
Girls, mostly, that feel they have to be different people to attract boys.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense because guys don't want someone really skinny, but then girls still for some reason in their mind think that they have to be really skinny.
I hate that I'm one of those girls who makes that a huge deal, but unfortunately that's me, and that's part of who I am.
You know, girls our age and younger like strive to be like really skinny and have like no boobs and no butt, and like
what I would love is to be like beautiful.
you never ever hear a guy saying like his perfect girl is like 5'9" and like 95 pounds. 5'9".
We're like trying to get a man who's like what you're out to do for the evening. It's weird to like see all of these people that are playing these roles. Girls.
Guys.
And are looking.
A girl.
Girls.
Boys.
Guys.
This man.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
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 Guys.
Girls.
Guys.
Guys.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls. I have a girlfriend.
Guys.
To attract the boys in the bar.
A girl 7.
But there are so many women that act
Girl.
like boys.
Guys.
Boys.
The guy.
Guy.
Ideal women.
Girlfriends. Girls.
No, girls. Girl.
A girl.
He had an incredible sense of self-entitlement, and He was just one of the most confusing people I've ever been around. The thing.
Girls. Guys. Girl.
A girl. Area.
Girls. Guys. Girl.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
Girls.
Girls. Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
Guys.
Area.
Girls.
Boys. This man.
Girls.
Guys.
Girls.
Girls.
Girls. Girls.
Guys.
Specifically, girlfriends and how you get them and what you have to do when you have one to keep
Like
her.
love and relationships with others.
I always just took what girls said and did in high school and took it as face value. So like if a girl was ignoring me, I was like, shit, and she doesn't like me. But really, if a girl is ignoring you, maybe she's playing hard to get or something. And as soon as someone explained that to me, I was like, what? That's like retarded.
So I'm confused by these women.
Maybe it's just numbers in general. Numbers kind of confuse me, and because of that, they're very scary.
There's a whole other set of stuff that you have to learn once you have a girlfriend.
And that they have to call them at certain times and say certain things because they want these boys to think that they are these ideal women.
What a girl says oftentimes really is the complete opposite of what she means. But sometimes what she says is actually what she means. You have to learn how to figure out which one is which.
Focus instead on your own personal relationship with your God or the universe or whatever you happen to believe in, instead of focusing on everybody else's.
What the hell does that even mean? I don't know.
You know, people always tell you, follow your dreams, pursue them, and whatnot. And when you grow up a little more, maybe they seem a little outlandish or impossible, or maybe you don't have the means to do it.
I mean, it seemed to me he rarely left his
maybe
hometown.
You outgrew
in rural
the dream, or you
Illinois.
missed the bus on it.
And he told me how he would go to different islands in the Caribbean and to China and to Australia, and he would zoom in deep into these places and, just kind of check them out for hours on end. And
what you're supposed to do.
It's like all my life I've wanted this one thing. I wanted to be.
I remember the time I was telling him about India, he asked me, why would you go there? Why would you go there? What's there?
But it's like I don't want it that bad because I don't really work at trying to get it. And that has always confused me. It's like that's something I want so much, but I guess I don't really want it that much because I don't work for it.
Why don't you just go check these places out yourself? And he's just like, I just don't want to.
It's just not for me.
I guess what you're supposed to do next, if you didn't get the chance to pursue your dreams.
I don't know, maybe somebody didn't explain it to me right the first time, or maybe nobody ever really explained it to me, because honestly, if you ask everybody else, they don't know.
A bunch of things happened before this. A lot of specifics that don't seem like they completely relate. A lot of specifics that completely relate. Don't seem like they completely relate. A lot of specifics that completely relate. Don't seem like they completely relate. A lot of specifics that completely relate. Don't seem like they completely relate.
It's the first Valentine's Day I spent with my current boyfriend.
Around Thanksgiving of my sophomore year of college.
When I was 17 years old.
Beautiful day. Sunny, crystal clear water. Everyone was just jazzed on going for a swim.
And everyone was yelling and kind of making fun of the situation that was happening, as was I.
And I had a car that was really sweet. It was like a 69 Thunderbird.
Car which I had at the time, which was a 1995 Plymouth Neon. It was red. In retrospect, it was a really stupid, horrible car. Nothing to be proud of whatsoever.
So we went out to a bar, dance, whatever, and my boyfriend sends me a text message asking me not to get too wasted so that we could hang out the next day. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And I accidentally got wasted.
I guess what I do, I smoke cigarettes and I drink.
When you're drunk, you're in such a vulnerable place anyway, and then to have someone be yelling at you for the way that you're behaving while you're in that mindset is something that seems like really unfair.
I got kind of drunk, I'm sorry. He's like, oh, you hungover? I'm like, yeah, but I'll be okay. And he's like, okay. Well, and then he did the worst thing, which is like he was just silent for a while.
And so, yeah, smoking and drinking. And so, smoking and drinking. Smoking and drinking. And so, smoking and drinking. Smoking and drinking. And so, smoking and drinking. Smoking and drinking. And so, smoking and drinking.
He was
Smoking and
obviously
drinking.
drunk.
And so, smoking and drinking.
He was
Smoking and drinking.
obviously drunk.
And so, smoking and drinking. Smoking and drinking. And so,
He was
smoking
obviously
and drinking.
drunk.
Smoking and drinking. And so, smoking and drinking. Smoking and
He was
drinking.
obviously
And so,
drunk.
smoking and drinking. Smoking and drinking. And so,
He was
smoking and
obviously
drinking.
drunk.
What happened? Like, I don't know, we just were hanging out and I mixed a lot of alcohols together. It's a bad idea. And then he
You're
canceled
drunk.
Valentine's Day.
And you're yelling.
He was obviously drunk.
And I'm breaking down. You're drunk.
And
You're
it was
yelling.
scary.
And I'm breaking down. You're drunk. And you're yelling. And I'm breaking down. You're drunk. And you're yelling. And I'm breaking down. You're drunk. And you're yelling.
It's like legends in our own mind. 'Cause
And
we
I'm
love each other so much.
breaking down.
And eventually it fell to pieces, but we kept trying to hold on to it.
Had a lot of fights when we were engaged.
I had the biggest fight with one of my best friends.
He's so much like me, and I'm so much like him, and
Actually gave me 2 free tattoos, but my mom only knows of the one. Because the other one is hidden. Anyway.
Not even pulling any hanky-panky. And and Lindsay just couldn't deal with it.
And Kevin decided that it would be funny to grab my keys and to jump in my car and like steal it.
When I called home, she would ask me if it was fine, and I would kind of stray away from answering that question. I would give some kind of response that was like, yeah, maybe. That was it.
Hurting himself, and I thought that I was his only hope. And unfortunately, I think he thought that I was his only hope too.
They've already like double-crossed me by smoking in my car, and now they've stolen my car.
Somehow, my mom heard about it through the grapevine from friends, and friends telling friends, and then getting back to like my cousin, I think, and then
He became more and more depressed and more manipulative and hurtful, and I became more and more intimidated of him. And since we lived far from each other, he lived on the East Coast and I lived in Chicago, like I did just like fall out of love with him. I wasn't in love with him anymore.
So when my younger sister found out that Alicia came down to visit, she was really hurt.
which we had plenty of verbal fights, but usually they would become so heated that they would end in some sort of actual physical battle.
By nature, I'm a really passive, kind of like gentle, easygoing person. So conflict is not really. By nature, I'm a really passive. By nature, I'm a really passive, kind of like gentle, easygoing person. So conflict is not really. Is not by nature. I'm a really passive, kind of like gentle,
A
easygoing
glass
person.
can only spill what it
So
contains.
conflict
you know?
is not really
A
in
glass
my
can
nature.
only spill what it contains, you know.
Now I'm pissed. So I'm just walking around, kicking dirt and trying to be tough and not talking to him.
So pissed. I was like, I just lost it. I was like, you guys, what the? Why would you do that? I told you not to do that. And they just were like laughing. Obviously, they were stoned, so they were just like.
She was
giggling
the
and stuff.
first friend that really called me out on my shit and wouldn't let me get away with anything.
Riding in the car for an hour outside of their apartment. We ended up getting out of the car, walking around the parking lot, yelling at each other.
As time went by, I just didn't care about it. He was just like ranting about the government or about me and my something that I do that's stupid or something, you know, anything
All
like
of
that.
this stuff came out, not even just about the boy, but also about how she felt like she couldn't trust me because I had lied to her, which was true. I did. I had lied to her about a lot of stuff.
Just came out and said what was on his mind. That was that I have been a huge ass to everybody because of the breakup. I should not take my anger out on the guys. Pretty much, I should not be an idiot to them because I'm pissed at my ex-girlfriend or depressed about it.
He didn't want to marry me, and I didn't want to marry him either.
Like me stressing for the millionth
And I
time
cried myself to
that
sleep.
Things like this, like him yelling at me and telling me that I'm embarrassing him, or things that
I
my dad
was
used
so
to do to me all the
confused.
No, it's my dad.
things like that are super hurtful.
And I cried.
No,
myself
it's
to
my
sleep.
dad.
I remember my brother tried to kick me, and so then I pushed him back, and it was he grabbed a knife or something like that, and he starts, a knife. He at one time even chased me around our yard with a hatchet. He was kind of crazy.
I like to refer to him as Crazy
And
Davy.
it was scary.
So I do what I've never done before. Like, I run up to Kevin and I just tackle him on Garrett's front yard.
Literally wanting to knock someone's teeth out of their head.
As I passed, I swung open the freezer door.
He's across the room, and he quotes something that she said to me in our fight. And I
The
lost
children
it.
running around while we were
So confused.
screaming.
And I punched him in the face and, grabbed him in a headlock and all this stuff. So anyway, we tossed around the room.
It was scary. And it
Long
absolutely
story
did.
short,
It knocked him right in the forehead. I swung it open as hard as I could, knocked him on the floor.
And of course, Crazy Davy woke up and opened the door and smacked her in the head and woke her up, and it was this whole big drama, and I ended up kicking the boy out, and it was just all this craziness.
I finally just stop and turn around, and get up in his face. And we're like in the middle of the road. This is a
So while you're yelling
major highway.
in my face, I go outside and I punch a brick wall like an idiot.
He gets up, slams the door back shut, and proceeds to try to kick me again.
He pushes me, and sometimes you just get that 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 just flows through your body.
And it was scary.
You can do anything. It's just adrenaline. So I got that.
And so I just like screamed at him and like finally I threw him off.
And I pushed him so hard, he kind of flew and maybe like took like 2 steps across our living room. Fell to the ground and hit his head on the bottom board of our couch and just laid there, unconscious. I knocked him out. And I remember being so scared because I thought I'd killed him.
We spent the next 2 days giving each other the silent treatment. It was just...
And I learned that I can't have what I want, and that if people change, they might not change back.
If I could have turned back time, that would have been the last time that I would have saw her.
And after that day, I've never lived at home with my mom. She kicked me out.
Hands weren't meant for brick walls. And, yeah. Pinky still hurts a lot when I hit it on stuff. So, I guess I'm the asshole.
And that was the last thing I ever said to him.
No fists were actually thrown. No blood was shed. But feelings were definitely hurt. And a lot of times that hurts the worst.
I wish I could have come up with some sort of like major life instance of value. Really good days are when I have a list much longer than I feel I can accomplish in one day. And I can put a line through everything that's on that list.
You know, some people might say it's just growing up, but I don't know. I think it takes courage to do that. Growing up, you know, growing up might say it's just growing up, but courage. I don't know. Growing up, I think it takes courage to do that. You know, some people might say it's just growing up, but courage. Growing up, courage. I think it takes courage to do that. Growing up, some people might say it's just growing up, but growing up, I don't know. I think it takes courage to do that. Growing up.
My academic performance in high school and college. In high school, I graduated in the top 10 and 5.25 on a 4.0 scale. And then in college, I graduated.
I come from a
years
really
from
close
business
family.
with
I have
high
4 older
honors.
brothers, and you know, we all homeschool together. My parents are wonderful, all really great.
In high school, there was a guy that used to pick on me all the time. He just like, you know, give me shit every day, and I hated it. I hated it, and I hated him.
But like we never said those things to each other. We just like skirted around it for months. And it was just like very awkward and very painful for me, and
Half
Probably
white, half
just
black. But my science class, it was like majority black kids, and they were like all behind me, and they're like screaming and yelling and flipping out, which is so funny.
And
now that I
normally,
think about it.
we don't get to have anybody watch these movies besides a few friends who say, sure, they're funny. Are they funny to our friends? We don't know.
The winner of Best of the Best got to go to New York and spend 3 days there. And when I was an associate on the accessories floor, I decided that that's
So,
what I wanted to do. I wanted to win that award.
That I was going to, very naively decided that I was going to work in the music industry and start my own record label. So
I remember sitting there and just hoping it was me, as the store manager and the vice president all made these big long speeches because they didn't say who had won.
But to be in a room with strangers and people who kind of know you, who really don't have to be nice to you, and hear them all laughing, that's pretty good.
Again, very naively decided that even though I couldn't pay for school, I was going to take out student loans and I would figure it out. No matter what, I'm going to do this.
Wishing it would be me and hoping and hoping and hoping it would be me. And they said my name and I was stunned. It was like I didn't hear them at first.
Finally sticking up for myself, and that this kid probably will never ever mess with me
Move
again.
out here by myself. I didn't know these are my dreams and this is what I think I have to do right now. I have to go out and be on my own and leave every single thing I know behind and try to make something for myself.
Remember, I was standing up there all by myself, and I'm usually pretty afraid of heights, but I was standing up on top of the Empire State Building, and I remember thinking, you own this town. And I did.
Growing up, I played sports.
All through my youth, I was like really into sports ever since I can remember.
I was a big sports
Played
guy.
football, and I played basketball and baseball,
Played basketball, and baseball,
and soccer,
golf.
and hockey, and track, and I did all those like pretty competitively.
Played second base all through high school, and for the first half of the season, I was freaking awesome, right? Stop every grounder, throw guys out.
So there
decent
came a time
hitter,
in 9th grade when I
all this
decided
stuff.
that I wanted to quit all of my sports, and I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to tell my parents because
But
my dad.
halfway through the season, something would get into my head that maybe I suck at baseball. Throwing the baseball over the first baseman's head every single time. I couldn't turn a double play. Something would get into my head.
Live my life without having said it.
I knew it would just like crush him and it would crush my grandpa and stuff, and it would definitely like affect my life and like how I related to these people. So I was like really stressed out about it, and I didn't know how to tell them.
Ninth inning, tied up, just like you see in the movies. There's that crucial moment at the end of a baseball game, like 3-2, 2 outs, bases freaking loaded, right? A lot of pressure. And coach calls me in to hit for somebody and taking somebody's spot. So he has confidence in me that I can get the bat on the ball. So the pitch comes. I think this was the third pitch. I had 2 strikes. And yeah, I hit it. I hit it out there in the outfield. Went over the outfielder's head and scored some runs. We ended up winning the game.
I was kind of surprised myself that I was able to do that, because I was always like the wuss, like the soft-spoken kid in middle school and high school, and I kind of am still. I was really proud that I was able to make this huge decision, because it was the biggest decision that far into my life, that I wanted to switch paths and pursue another thing.
We were
So
outside.
it was kind of
freezing
shocking
cold,
to even
and
myself.
I was about to say goodnight to him, and I finally just like blurted out. I was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you," and I just told him how I felt, and he just looked at me.
I was like 5 or 6 at my parents' old house when I was a kid. We had this long hedge, and it was always just infested with bees and wasps and hornets. And they would just kind of fly around and hover over it. I can't even count the times I was stung in my own yard as a kid. And I remember one day in the summer going outside with a fly swatter and swatting every single bee and wasp and hornet that I could find. Just swatting them down, and then collecting them all. With my younger sister's help, we dug a mass grave of sorts for these bees, and it was just miraculous how many we actually ended up collecting, and not getting stung, surprisingly. I don't remember getting stung that day. I remember feeling so like proud, I guess, because I didn't feel like when I walked outside I was gonna risk getting stung, or my sisters were gonna risk getting stung. So it felt good.
It was good to see the look on his face. He was starting another chapter in his life. Another chapter in his life that I think he felt was going to be a good chapter, that it wasn't going to be filled with disappointment and everything else that he'd been going through for the last few years. And I've never been more proud of myself in my life.
But I was proud of myself for.
I was really proud of myself.
Proud of.
Pretty
Probably the
But I
hardest
was
thing
proud of
to
myself
do.
In retrospect, hardest
Probably
thing,
the
probably
biggest
the proudest moments of my life.
You're proud of myself.
Proud of
Only thing that,
myself.
like,
You know, the kids you're cheering you on, and
Proud of us. It gives us some kind of.
Proud of.
Probably the hardest thing I've had to
Yeah,
do.
good.
I remember feeling
the
so
hardest thing I
proud.
had to
Proud of myself.
be proud of myself.
Proud of.
Pretty good.
In retrospect, is probably one of the proudest moments of my life.
but I was proud of myself for.
Probably the
Proud of
hardest thing
myself.
I've
Proud
had
of
to
us.
do.
It gives us some kind
Hardest
of.
thing
Proud
I've
of.
ever
Proud of myself.
Faced
Oh,
my
yeah, I felt
biggest
good.
fear.
But I was proud of myself for.
Proud of.
Proud of myself.
Proud of.
To do.
Pretty good.
But I'm still like proud of myself for having done that, because I've never been so afraid in my life, but I did it anyway.
And it's definitely impacted everything that I've done ever since